Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. It's a brand new week, so today I thought we're going to start off with doing the next 5 stages of the Fanhome release and build the Infinity War Gauntlet. So this is the Thanos Gaunlet, and we're actually doing stages 27 to 31. Now, this is what it's looking like at the moment. Massive thing it is here. And we are working on one of the fingers at the moment, as you can see, looking like that. Around about a third of the size of my head. So you can imagine how big this model actually is. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link to the Fanhome website in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. You can scan with your phone and it will take you straight to the site as well. But I'm going to jump straight into it this morning. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So here's the magazine for stage 27, and by the look of it, if I just have a quick flick through, we are going to continue working on the index finger. So this is the index finger that we're creating just here. We're going to be adding some parts to this, so by the end it's looking just like that. I will go through the rest of the magazine as well, just so you can see what that contains. Let's do this. So I've got stage 27 here. And each stage pretty much looks like it's coming with a brass section here, and then we've got the internals that this is going to mount to and some screws. So bringing over the index finger here, I've got this little section which we're going to be putting in just to the slot just there, like that. That was an easy bit. Okay, I've got a little washer or grommet or bush, whatever you want to call this, which is going to go just into that point there. And then I'm going to be piecing these together with this other side here. So it's going to be going in just like this, making sure that this slot here is going into that slot just there. So get this in and push it hard to lock it in place. It is going to hold itself, but we will be putting some screws into there. We also want to make sure that this section here is going through the hole. So it just needs to be manipulated so that I can get this in like that, as you can see. Now the screws on this build are very easy to understand because it's just the silver screws that actually come in this stage, and they're going to go, or one of them is just going to go into the hole there first off. So let's get that in. And that's held that part together now. Now this is able to move like that, and we do have this section which we're not actually using in this stage, but that is all there is to do in this stage. So here's stage 28. Flicking through the magazine, I'm guessing we're working on the index finger. I am a genius. So there we go. There's the internal parts of the index finger we're still going to be creating, building this up as we go. So now it's looking like that. I think the full length of the index finger is probably in here now. And this is the rest of the magazine. And I've already taken out all the parts here, looking like that. More of these silver screws here. Okay, so we are going to be building onto this. So to do that, first thing we're going to do is, again, take one of these washer, grommet, bushes. I don't know what they're called. We're going to be putting that on there and then putting this part of the internal structure just through the hole like this to make sure it comes out the other side. It's going to have a squeak on it, which means I might put a little bit of oil on that, because obviously this is going to be turning and it should stop that squeaking, which you'll hear in a second. Get it all the way through. Perfect, and there we go, that's in. Now in exactly the same way as we did in the last stage, I'm going to be taking this internal section here, and that's just going to go into the slots here. So I'm just going to push that in, so it's flush in there, just like that. Now this is where I'm going to be taking this bottom piece that we had in the last stage, and this is going to make sure that we get this little shape into the hole here. So I'm just going to manipulate this around just a touch to get that in. Now it does fit over the metal of this section, so once I've got it lined up here, like that, that's how now that's looking. And obviously we've got this open side here. Now to hold this in and stop it coming out, we've got this tab looking like this. It's labelled D05. It's going to go over that point just there inside. You might be able to see that on the top camera as well. I'm securing that in with one of these silver screws. And get that nice and tight. because the way this is going to work is going to stop this moving around once we've got this side in here. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to be putting another washer just in there. And then we're going to be closing this section off. So it's going to go around this way, just like this, making sure that this slots into the piece that we've got next to it there. Perfect. And once again, one of the silver screws to keep this in place. Just here. And again, get that nice and tight. Also, before I do that, make sure that this is clipped into the hole there. So this should be embedded in both sides here and here. And there we go. Finger's getting there at the moment, and we have got the articulation that you can see there. Okay, that's the end of that stage. In stage 29, I'm guessing we've got more covers for that index finger. We are the index finger number 6. We've got some pivot points here that we're going to be creating. I guess this is what's going to actually mount it to the palm of the hand, like that. So at the end, it's looking just like that. And again, here's the rest of the magazine. And I've got everything out here. Another lovely piece of brass there. It's this section I need first. This is what we're actually going to piece together first. And this was actually already together in the pack. So sort of gave the game away. This is going to be going together just like this here. It is going to be held in with 2 of the silver screws just into these 2 holes. You might notice I'm not using my small screwdriver for this build. I'm using my PH1. Because some of these screws are quite tight to get in. So you do need that extra torque that you can get with a PH1 screwdriver. Here's the second screw going in. Now, the way this is going to go, we're going to be taking this metal piece and we're going to be putting this pivot just into here. And it sort of slots itself in. But to keep that from sort of like having no resistance on the back there, we have got these washers, which we do need to put in each side, which is going to be a little bit tricky because gravity is going to want to spin them off into all directions, but I've got them neatly balanced in there. It's going in this way, so let's see if I can get this in without knocking the washers out. that failed. I've got one in. Perhaps I can post this one through this side. No, that's not going to work. Let's try again. Aha, we got it that time. So there we go, they're all in. Now to keep that in and from falling out, we've got this section to put on now. As you can see, we've got holes in this side that are going to go over the lugs on the other side there. So it's going to go around this way, just like this. So it fits flush in there like that. Now this is held in with the black screws that come in this pack. Again, using my PH1 screwdriver just to make that nice and tight. Now the good news here is, as you can see those washers are still in place on each side. This is able to move like that, but that is all there is to do in that stage. I'm glad we get 5 stages each pack because it wouldn't last long otherwise. Here's the magazine, and as you see, we're still working on the index finger 7. We're going to be extending onto what we built then, adding the piece that we've just created, so in the end it's looking just like this here. I am tempted to put this on the glove. I don't know if that's what we're going to be doing in the next stage. We'll find out. But again, here's the rest of the magazine. Perfect. So here's the parts for stage 30 here. And bringing across the big index finger that we've been working on. Okay, on this side, again, we need to put one of these washers, like that. And then once again, push this through this side. And I am going to, it doesn't tell you to do this in the instructions. I'm doing it because that squeaking is just getting to me. I'm going to push that through this side, this way round. And it does go in a lot easier when you do that, but you have got that squeak there. Okay, just like last time, we are going to be putting in the bottom plate that's going to go in here. Now, as you can see, this has got a round hole this time. It's going to go over the top of this one, so we're going to put this in the round hole here and make sure it fits comfortably in that cavity. Tricky because we also want the hole here to be in that gap there. So it's going to have to sort of go over. Oh, this is hard. Right, okay, bear with me. Kind of like that. If I put it in that way, I think that's probably the best way. And then revolve it round into this piece. like that, and then it clips in. That was clever. Okay, again, I'm just going to oil just this side up here, because the piece that we created in the last stage is now going to be going over this, so it's going to go kind of like on here like that. Then I can revolve that round so it completes that whole run there. Excellent. Now we've got this section here that we're going to be wanting to have face down. It can only go in one way because the lugs here are different widths, so that's going to go in just like that there. Take another washer, put that over the top there, and I'm going to close all of this off by putting this into place again, making sure that this hole here is going through here. I just called that thing a hole. I don't know why. Now, when I'm doing this, I have noticed some things here, like this one's not sitting flush in there. So I will fix that so you can see how that's going to look. But I don't want this gap here. I've got a little gap there. But I'll get this one in and I'll fix that in a second. Once again, silver screw just through that hole there. And there we go, I've closed that off as well. So that is what the index finger is now looking like. We've got full articulation in here, as you can see. Very clever. We're not finished though, because we do have one more screw to put in, which is just going in here. That will hold that side in. And there we go. That is now complete. That's all there is to do in that stage. So are we mounting this finger? I don't think we are, because we've still got to put loads of brass on top of this, and I'm guessing that's probably what we're doing in the last stage. Let's have a look. There's the magazine, and yep, we are starting to put the brass on here. So index finger part 8, got some little parts here to put on, so it's starting to look like that. There's the rest of the magazine. So the first part to put on looks just like this. Again, all metal. It's going to go into the first hole that we see at the top there. So just line this up and push that into place so it's fitting flush all the way around. We're going to use one of the silver screws. They call these O2 screws, but they're either silver or black screws on this build. And get that nice and tight. And once we've got that as tight as we can get it, perfect. I've got a cap just to put over that so that we don't see that screw hole. So get that in there and just push that into place. So that looks like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So this is what that finger's looking like. Pretty cool. And there you go. That's what the index finger looks like. That's how big it is compared to my face. Obviously, we've still got to do these two bits here. On the hand, it's basically going to go, let's put it in, kind of like this way round. I'm just going to give you a basic idea. And then it's closed off with this section here. I don't know if you can see this on probably the top camera here. If I just lay that down, the way it's going to go is that's going to go in here. This is going to pin that in place from this side here, like this. And then we've got this bottom section, which I'm guessing slots in to this part here. I'm guessing, I don't know. Haven't got a clue. But that makes sense to me. But from this side, that is how it's looking. I think I'm going to make a thumbnail with the finger in. I think that's what we're going to do. So there you go. I'm just going to put that down gently and hope it doesn't fall out. I think we're good. If you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link in the video description and a QR code on the screen. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.